one Bitcoin can be worth $1 billion, according to Fidelity, one of the largest asset managers in the world. And yes, this is the largest Bitcoin price prediction ever covered in Crypto News Alerts. And now for our breaking story of the day and the moment you have all been waiting for. Fidelity, I just looked up how much in assets under management they control, and it said north of 10 trillion, which means they're almost as big as BlackRock and just as bullish on Bitcoin, if not even more bullish, considering their head of macro, Jimmy and Timmer, is predicting a $1 billion price action. In fact, I remember when he made a 100 million price action, and then after he's like, yo, we're way too bearish. This thing is going to $1 billion. Let me break down the math and why this analyst from Fidelity, one of the largest asset managers in the world, firmly believes that the Bitcoin price will one day hit $1 billion. Let's check it out. One Bitcoin may be equivalent to $1 billion by the year 2038. That's the caveat. According to Jerry and Timmer, director of the macro global at Fidelity, Timmer backed up his assertion with the 4-year chart that combined the stock-to-flow model with his demand model. Quoting him here, Metcalfe's law holds that as the number of its users grow linearly, a network's value, or by interference, the Bitcoin price grows geometrically. The implication is that the utility value of Bitcoin will outgrow its operational network. That's right. This operational network encompasses buyers, sellers, exchanges, ATMs, and in addition to also including participating retailers, both directly and indirectly, and some leading organizations such as the Dallas Mavs and AT&T. Rounding out this network are a few of the issuers, several banks, and a multitude of small businesses. Timmer's own demand model grows very slowly in proportion to the stock-to-flow combo supply model. The asset management director's demand model predicts the Bitcoin will reach $1 million by 2030, the same as Kathy Wood of ARK Invest. That would be the medium scenario. I believe their bullish scenario is 1.48 million, with the bearish scenario like over 200,000, so 1 million kind of being the average. Now also note the stock to flow combo model forecast a price between 1 million and $10 million by 2030. Jerry and Timmer's demand model seems to historically represent the floor or the bottom of the price. The stock to flow model appears to be a better fit for the peak. However, the gap between both models widens significantly after 2030. One of the suggested reasons for the widening gap after 2030 is the change in the value of the dollar. It should be noted, however, that this reasoning is not yet set in stone. So yeah, Bitcoin can hit $1 billion because of the changes in the dollar value. That's another caveat. Timmer stated that the value of the dollar changes in relation to other assets, and he further pointed out that $1 invested into stocks in the 18th century is worth about $4 billion of today's money. So going by this assumption, $1 million today can be worth $1 billion in 20 years' time. That's right, especially with hyperinflation. Inflation, changes in the dollar's value, especially depreciation over several decades, render the same amount with less purchasing power. This is why huge sums back then appear less by today's standards. For instance, $1 million can purchase a lot of significant things a few decades ago, but to put that into perspective, reasonably higher end houses in the US cost between $20,000 and $50,000. I don't know where they got these numbers. I think they probably mean $200,000 to $500,000. But anyways, there is an increasing number of billionaires across the globe today. Some observers even believe we may see the first trillionaire in this lifetime. I firmly believe it's going to be a Bitcoiner. What do you think? The same applies to organizations, with several companies now passing the $1 trillion market cap valuation. Now, also, as I previously mentioned, he also pegged Bitcoin to hit 100 million by 2035 initially, using the same stock to flow model. Now, Jerry and Timmer also made those predictions back then. As untested and uncertain Timmer's predictions are, he is not the only one with such lofty forecasts. We also have Deutsche Bank also forecasting Bitcoin will dominate by 2030. So the $1 million question, will and can Bitcoin achieve Fidelity's $1 billion price prediction by the year 2030? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments right down below. And massive shout out to everyone in the live chat today. We now have roughly 400 people on live. I greatly appreciate all the support.